All right, everybody, let's go ahead and share my screen. This is the optionals and task lecture for module 7. I'm going to go ahead and get on to the YouTube situation. All right, let's go back to where we were. I think that speaks for itself. If you ever enjoy poetry, always try to find a video of the author reading their own poetry, because there's something more it gives when you can hear the inflection and the passion that somebody reciting their own poetry gives. So thought I would share that. I'm going to move on to the next one. This is an article that's in your assigned life at gender. And again, these three, we're going to talk about 3 common complaints, and it's become shorthanded to say ideas that I happen to find ridiculous are being taken seriously by a lot of people, and it's ruining our country. I felt like this was a incredibly powerful quote. This idea that everyone's opinion is valid, and every opinion is respectful, and every opinion should be equally held high, discredits and forms an illusion surrounding the oppressive forces that are inherent and embedded in our society. So 3 things we're going to talk about. People are too sensitive. So people aren't sensitive. People are oppressed and tired of being consistently undermined in their own lived experiences. And those are 2 very different things. And so just a reminder that if language is used and there is someone who comes up to you and explains to you that the language you maybe used was considered offensive or felt offensive, that is not to say that you as a human being are awful, but that you should maybe evaluate why it is that is happening and under what guise you meant. That kind of flows into the next one. It keeps us from saying what we really mean. If your language being offensive and being called out for being offensive keeps you from using that language, I'm okay with it. And again, that sounds more to the point than I usually am, but language matters. And language can be a tool for violence and can be a tool for harm. And if we can't say what we really mean because that will be considered derogatory towards someone else or a group of someone else's, then I don't think you should be using that language. There is a bajillion words that mean every single thing. Find another word, find another way of expressing yourself, find another way of stating that, and question why it is that language is so, feels so inherent or tied to your self, right? Tied to you as a human being. And so kind of just thinking through that, think about the assumptions you're making, think about the ways in which you've learned to associate those words or those ideas to yourself, and think about the ways in which we all should confront those notions and every notion we have about our own selves, because part of living is change, and part of change comes with new understandings about how we impact the world and how the world impacts us. Lastly, so much focus on words distracts from the more important issues. Sometimes the words are important issues, and I think that we lose sight of that occasionally. But also, more broadly, the words we use come with ideas, the concepts that we talk about come with ideologies, come with their learned behaviors and learned concepts that we should consistently think through and critique and manage. And if you learn nothing else from this class, I hope that you have garnered some way to do your own self-reflection, to do your own assumptions critiques. So, and to realize that we are one perspective in a world full of perspectives, and that we house within our own identity a number of privileges and a number of oppressions that are valid and take up space and impact others' privileges and oppressions, and that political correctness is a term that we use to stir up buzzworthy sensationalism, but the idea of harming others should be not something that we use in the same way. And so making sure that our language doesn't do so, and our concepts and ideas don't do so, and or that we attempt to check what might, helps us to create a situation where we have a better society and a more I'm not entirely sure why that did that. Let's try that again. Interesting. A society that is more inclusive and better. So you know where to find this. This is not new to you guys. Make sure your extra credit slips or materials are turned in by the 21st. And those are just really anything that you might have done extra. So in the next section, I'm going to give a bunch of documentaries, and you're going to have them long before the 21st. And with the hope that if you want to watch an extra documentary and you want to give me a few ideas relating it to something else we've learned in the class or what have you, that we can get you some extra credit for that. So again, those are important. And then make sure you're getting your normal stuff done. And then remember that we're almost done. We're almost done, y'all. And we are very close to the end. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, a wonderful module. Again, feel free to reach out as always. And I will see all of you very soon. Bye, everybody.